Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about a problem that pretty much all people pursuing higher consciousness face, and that is how to make a living, how to find a career that is in alignment with our internal state, that is in alignment with this spiritual work that we've been doing. This is a very hard thing to do because most jobs in society, they are not necessarily oriented towards helping the collective, towards raising humanity's consciousness. They're more oriented just towards profits for businesses. I recently read a statistic that said something like 50 to 60% of Americans are dissatisfied with their job and would rather be doing something much more meaningful. So, if you're young, if you're looking to make a career change, I really think what I have to say will help you. I'm not speaking from direct experience. I have not made a career out of this spiritual work, but I have spent hundreds, likely even thousands of hours contemplating this topic. I think about it pretty much all day, every day, because this is really the problem that, as a 20-year-old person, this is what I'm, thinking about the most going forward, is how do I make a living doing this? So like I said, I spent hours upon hours contemplating this, and what I'm going to be sharing with you is the two most valuable resources that I have found that have helped me the most. Obviously, I can't suggest to you what exactly it is that you should do. Every person has different talents and natural passions. What I'm going to be doing here is just providing a guideline. These are just guidelines that have helped me, and I really think that will help you as well. The first thing I'm going to be sharing is a passage from a book that I read recently that kind of explains inner purpose and outer purpose. And the next thing I'm going to be explaining is a Venn diagram that my friend made, which kind of goes over all that one probably will be looking for when it comes to making a living out of the spiritual work. So without further ado, let's get into these resources.
So firstly, I would like to talk about a concept that really resonated with me in the book A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I mentioned this in one of my past videos, but it is extremely important that I say this again because this deals with the entire purpose of our existence. So he explains how we have an inner purpose and an outer purpose. And our inner purpose, which is our main purpose, is to awaken, to expand our consciousness, to move closer and closer towards enlightenment, etc. Basically, it is striving to become the purest vessel of consciousness that we possibly can. And if we stay true to this inner purpose, our outer purpose, which is what our job or career would be, naturally reflects our inner work. So the outer purpose would likely be something you already have a deep passion or natural talent for that helps others expand their consciousness as well, so the world can become a more loving, wholesome place for all life. But this concept was not the main thing I wanted to show you. The main thing I wanted to show you was this diagram that my friend made that illustrates all that one on the spiritual path should be looking for when searching for their outer purpose. So here is the diagram. Feel free to screenshot it, but when my friend sent this to me, I was blown away with how much it resonated. So I just had to share it with you guys because I know it could help so many of you. The three main principles of the diagram, freedom, purpose and impact, and presence and bliss, could not have better summarized all that I, as a spiritual individual, am looking for in life. So first and foremost, freedom, in both the sense of being financially free and having plenty of time on our hands to do what we love most, is something we all desire. And then secondly, our purpose and impact. We want whatever we do to have a positive impact on society and make the world a better place. And then lastly, we want whatever we do to be something that genuinely brings us joy, something that thrusts us into flow state and forces us to be present. So tie all of this together and you get something that is in full alignment with the inner spiritual work you have been doing. Not only do you come away with an occupation that may in itself be a spiritual practice for you, but this occupation also greatly impacts the collective in a positive way, and you also have the freedom and time to do further inner spiritual work or whatever else you'd like to do. Of course, building a career in alignment with this amazing diagram is easier said than done. I mean, me nor my friend who made the diagram have done it, but I really think it gives someone on the spiritual path a solid framework of what they should be striving for. You may be feeling something like, well, this graph is great, but I just have no idea what it is that I'd like to do. I don't know what would bring me joy. And I think a lot of us are in that same boat, and I could never personally tell or even suggest to you what you should do. Of course, that all has to come from within you. You and only you can decide your outer purpose. But I have a number of more spiritual careers that I will just list off here to maybe get your mind thinking. But of course, do not limit yourself to this list. So here it goes. Life coach, writer, artist, musician, counselor, teacher, yoga instructor, guru, content creator, conscious business owner, energy healer, therapist, psychologist, shaman, motivational speaker. So of course, do not limit yourself to this list. I completely just made all this up in my head. There are definitely an infinite amount of more possibilities. Definitely do not limit yourself to this list.
Okay, so I hope you came away from that diagram really having a solid framework of what you kind of want to do going forward. Obviously, if it didn't resonate, don't take it too seriously. Everyone has different talents, different passions, different drives, different structures that they want to live their life by. So if it didn't resonate, don't take it too seriously. This is just something that really resonated with me. It kind of took everything that I was already looking for and it was neatly packaged into a diagram. Hopefully that resonated with you, but if it didn't, like I said, don't take it too seriously. With this diagram, it's kind of aiming high. It is trying to literally build your perfect life, and obviously, shit happens. We live in a world where most jobs that are available are not necessarily oriented towards helping the collective, towards raising humanity's consciousness. They're more oriented just towards profit for the business or profit for oneself. So, making it with spiritual work in the society is not the easiest thing to do. This diagram does aim high, so the likelihood that you will fully actualize everything in this diagram, perfectly 100% is low. But if you're at least trying, that's a great thing. You'll at least probably get some of it down. Also, by no means, don't limit yourself to that list that I said. I just said that off the top of my head. There's an infinite number of careers or paths that one on the spiritual path could take. There's so many things you could do. You could become one of the things that I listed. You can become something completely else you have in mind. And you could even keep your quote-unquote normal job and just do it in a more conscious manner that uplifts everyone else, all their coworkers. Anything you can do. Like I said, everyone has a different path. I heard about a guy in Reddit who was a factory worker, and he said that was his dream job because he could just sit in the same spot for 8 hours a day and just meditate for the entire time. He could just bask in being for 8 hours a day, and he said that's his dream job and he would not want to have it any other way. So if you're like that guy, this diagram is not going to help you. But if you're like me, if you're aiming high, if you're just seeking to, if you're kind of my age, 20 years old, and you're just seeking to kind of get into the career path, maybe this diagram will really help you. I am using this diagram to help me. Again, about the Eckhart Tolle quote, I really think it is important that we prioritize this inner purpose, this inner work, expanding our consciousness, becoming more and more loving, transcending the ego. I think that is much more important than just pursuing our outer purpose, because, if we're working on ourselves, everything we put out to the world, that's naturally going to reflect our inner state. So if we're becoming our best version, becoming our most loving self, our most conscious self, everything we put out into the world is going to be aligned with our state of consciousness. And if we're really work on ourselves, we're going to have a big impact on humanity, and it'll be inevitable that our outer purpose, definitely has a big impact. So I really encourage you to take this seriously. This wasn't just, a random thing that I shared to just make a video. This was serious stuff. This is stuff that I seriously take to heart and that I live by and I abide by. So I hope you really take this with you as well. That's really all I got to say for this one, guys. Give it a like, comment, subscribe, helps promote it so more people can see it. If you do wish to support me on Patreon, I do have that. A few extra dollars would really help the channel. Don't make a lot of money, but I put a lot of work in, so of course no pressure, but that's all I gotta say, guys. Have a great day and peace.